Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to be here with you in this historic building to share Huawei views on the challenges industry is facing in the process of digitalization. One of these is cybersecurity and privacy, which, in our opinion, represent the backbone for the development of the industry. As you may know, Huawei is a global company with global challenges. We are, as you know, originating from China, and more precisely from Shenzhen, just in front of Hong Kong. Today, we employ 180,000 employees, out of which 45% work in R&D, so a total of 80,000 people. We are operating in 170 countries, a bit more than that. And we have set up 14 R&D institutes, labs and centers across the world, in Europe, North America, and Asia. In a few years' time, we have become the number 72 Fortune Global 500, and the company is very proud of its ascension in the past few years. Huawei is now a global leader. To date, we have signed more than 40 5G commercial contracts, and we have shipped more than 55,000 5G base stations. But today I would like to focus on two issues that have been raised towards us, but that we think we actually apply to the whole world and to the whole industry. First, the independency from industry from state interference in cybersecurity. The second aspect is our capability to build trust in a cybersecurity environment. Starting with independence, I think it is important to highlight that Huawei is a privately owned company. All shareholders are Huawei employees. They represent 90,000 people, and none of them has more than 1.4% of the shares. So the ownership is independent. That's how our management can take independent decisions regarding R&D investment. We can decide to put more than 10% of our annual revenue in R&D, or we can decide to move to consumer business easily. Only Huawei's management team controls our company strategy. The second aspect is our focus on customers. Because without our customers, we wouldn't have grown to a global company. So it is very clear for us that Huawei would never harm any country or any individual. We would never accept any request to use Huawei products for malicious purposes. And our CEO have already stated that we would rather shut down the company than comply with any such request if it was formulated from Chinese government or from any government. The third point is the Chinese government cannot interfere with Huawei cybersecurity and privacy compliance requirements. This is an aspect I would like to develop, because we have read in the press the past few months allegations regarding the company and regarding our dependence from the Chinese government. So we looked for counsel with law firms. First, we contacted Chunglong firm in China to help us interpret and mapping the cybersecurity regulatory framework in China. And they have come up with, indeed, 5 laws that would impact, that would address the issue of counter-espionage, intelligence, cybersecurity, and state security. Out of these 5 laws, we can assure you that 4 of them don't impact manufacturers of ICT products. They are targeting operators which operate in China, so out of our scope. Those laws are similar to the one we have in Europe, and I can name the NIS directive that we are currently implementing in all the countries. One of the laws that was put in the highlight, let's say, is the National Intelligence Law, which actually asks for the support of organizations and citizens in national intelligence work. We've looked in details at this law and the whole text, and it appeared that there is absolutely no requirement and no for Huawei or any manufacturer from China to implement any backdoors or eavesdropping device or hand over data from customers to the Chinese government. This is nowhere mentioned in the law. Second, this law has no extraterritorial effect, which means that it only applies to China. Third, it is limited by legitimate interest. In Europe, we have a set of laws nationally, but also at European level. We can name the GDPR, which protects the privacy of our citizens and which limit companies' capability to use data. At Huawei, we are compliant with GDPR. We are doing our best to protect the privacy of our citizens and the operation of our customers. So the Chonglun report didn't really resonate in Europe. So we requested the support from European law firms. And actually, yes, we got the backup from Clifford Chance, which is a UK-based law firm, and from Ernst & Young. And all their conclusions converge in the same direction. Chinese cybersecurity legislation doesn't grant any power for the Chinese government to order telecommunication equipment manufacturers to plant backdoors, eavesdropping devices or spyware in telecommunication equipment. It doesn't allow the Chinese government to ask us to disable communication or to use systems or access them for the purpose of espionage or malicious activity. Those analyses from European law firms have been confirmed by the Chinese government official the past few months. It would be a misunderstanding to think that there are malicious intentions toward the Chinese industry. Now, I would like to move to my second issue, our capability to build trust in cybersecurity, because that's today our concern and that's what we are aiming at. The fact is that over the 30 years of Huawei operations globally in 170 countries, we have never suffered any major cybersecurity incidents, and that is a fact. Neither in Europe nor with any of our none of our 1,500 carrier networks. To provide assurance to government, we have built cybersecurity centers in different places. We started in 2010 in the UK, where we built the cybersecurity center in Banbury, under the supervision of the UK government. And more recently, in Bonn, we opened a cybersecurity lab, where BSI can test and verify products, provide recommendations on how to improve the security of our products. And in Brussels, where I come from, we opened a cybersecurity center for everyone to come and check, where you will have access to remote access to our source code, where you can perform white box text testing on our products, where you can bring either government representative or third-party experts or experts from companies to test the products. We have complete transparent and open approach to cybersecurity. But what we believe in is in collaboration, because it is essential on a global scale to develop unified cybersecurity standards and open and transparent verifiable mechanism. Verification, which has been under the spotlight for 2 years now because of the discussion at EU level among cybersecurity communities, is not something new in the telecom industry. And we have embedded in verification in our process very early. It's a several-step approach. It starts with independent penetration tests in our cybersecurity lab, which is based in Shenzhen. Cybersecurity lab, which is independent from the rest of the organization and which verifies security requirements from our products against industry baselines. This is our first line of verification. Then for more critical operations or more demanding governments, we're opening a regional testing center. I mentioned the UK, Germany, the one in Brussels, we have one in Canada, and we have 2 in Asia and Middle East. There, we test our product according to local requirements, and those findings that are public in the case of UK, you can find it online through the OB report. The findings are implemented in an incredible way in our process for future product development and for fixing our issues. Now, to go further, because we don't have centers everywhere, we also rely on certification by third-party certification companies. We have several partnerships in this area. And we have obtained in time several certificates already for product security or security management. We like to use the common criteria in Europe because it is a well-recognized scheme. We cannot have certification without clear standards, so that's why Huawei people, engineers, are very active in standardization organization, and for 5G we are talking about the 3GPP, where we have been in 2018 the #1 contributor, and 251 of our proposals have been accepted, including for 5G security architecture proposal. So collaboration with the ecosystem is of extreme importance. What we are doing now in the current context and what we believe in, we have been following political development the past 2 years, and in particular the drafting of the Cybersecurity Act, which established the first EU-wide cybersecurity certification framework to ensure a common security certification approach in the European internal market, and ultimately aim at improving cybersecurity in a broad range of digital products and services. We believe that it is possible to develop jointly with the support of 3GPP, with the support of GSMA, with the support of security agency, and according to the requirements of our governments, a security certification scheme for 5G. Recently, we have developed the NESAS certification framework with 3GPP and GSMA. And we will hope that this certification scheme, which is the only one existing currently for the telecom sector, developed with large operators like DT, Orange, Vodafone, on the basis of requirements also from BSI, and with the support of our competitors, Cisco, ZTE, Ericsson. We hope that this certification scheme will get the recognition it deserves in the short term, and that this will allow us to build the trust that we are needing in the domain. Thank you very much for your attention.